Hi everyone, welcome and welcome back to the channel. Please like, share and subscribe. And here we go again with the weekly energy report. So this week we're gonna have this huge event, which is gonna be the eclipse in Pisces that I've been talking about ever since the beginning of this channel. And it's gonna be for me, it's gonna be like the biggest event of the year, to be honest. As a matter of fact, 2024, it's been a great year. People are gonna be like, oh, are you crazy? But for me, I have this very Plutonian energy about me, and I've been waiting for this moment for the collective for quite a while, to be honest. And I actually thought that the eclipses on the beginning of the year, on March and April, they were gonna be like this. I was really hoping, I was really waiting eagerly for them, and they did bring a lot of shift, and people were kind of desperate. They were like, oh my gosh, what is happening with my life? They did shake people's lives a lot, but I have a feeling, and as we started to come near this Piscean eclipse, I began fonder and fonder of it, and it kind of became my favorite moment of the year, to be honest, because I feel like it is everything that we needed as a collective. It is a very beautiful moment that we're going through, and I've been telling people ever since the beginning of the year, and the first couple of videos in this channel, I've been talking about Pluto retrograde in Capricorn and how it's gonna test us. It's gonna test how committed we are to our spiritual growth, to our, not even to our spiritual growth, it's how committed we are to ourselves from now on, because Pluto is all about coherence and commitment to our spiritual alignment, to our path, to our dharma. That's why I love Pluto so much. And Pluto in Capricorn happening during this eclipse, and all of these Piscean energies happening with Neptune in the last degrees of Pisces, 29th degree of Pisces, Saturn in Pisces as well, and all these planets retrograde, making us reflect upon a lot of things. And not just that, the fact that this eclipse is like this intruder in the Aries and Libra axis that we have been dealing with lately. It's like Aries, Libra, and out of nowhere there's this Pisces intruder in the middle, which is a very spiritual energy. And like I said in the last video, it's a partial lunar eclipse, and lunar eclipses for me are like the closing of doors, is the end of chapters, the cleaning of things. For me, it is this energy of us questioning. It is this final test. It is this final test of how committed are you truly with your new spiritual self that has emerged, with this new beginning that you want to have. We're gonna be tested, and this is what this eclipse is bringing us. And not only that, is how open you are to this shift, how open you are to let go of control for these shifts to occur. Because it is, Pluto in Capricorn is also learning to let go of control. And so it's just like I said in the last video, this Fiona and Shrek energy of maybe things are gonna happen in the most unexpected ways, the most unexpected of ways, and you have to be open to receive them. Otherwise, you're gonna be stuck. If you're insisting on things to be the way you always wanted, the way you always imagined. So, how committed you are to let go of limiting beliefs, but also preconceived ideas of how things should be and how things should go forward, and how things should flow. Don't worry about the how, just worry about the where and what you want to be and go. The how is not up to you, is up to fate, is up to destiny. And again, we're going to be tested, so make sure you're very sure of yourself, so you're not going to give up. How much you're willing to let go of certain things, certain patterns, certain luxuries, because Capricorn is about not just Capricorn, but also Uranus in Taurus is like certain, even material luxuries, like certain things we got used to in order to accommodate this new you that has emerged. I feel like this huge energy of this whole year, actually, but especially now with these with this eclipse in Pisces, which, by the way, is happening because it's like I said in the previous video, it's like a starter for next year. These eclipse in Pisces, I'm sorry guys, there's a lot of noise happening. I'm not being able to focus too much, and I'm having to interrupt all the time. Anyway, I'm sorry if my thoughts aren't being very coherent. It's been hard to record this video today. But anyway, this eclipse in Pisces, like I said previously, is like the starter of this new cycle of eclipses and axes that are going to start next year, which is going to be the axis of Pisces and Virgo, which are finally going to start to align our spiritual with our material reality. But before that happens, we actually have to make sure of what we truly are, and what we truly want, and that's why we're being tested. It's like, okay, is this really what you are, and how committed you are? We have to make sure of how committed you are. Otherwise, we're not going to give you, because it takes a lot of energy to shift things. So it's like we have to make sure. We're not going to give you like just anything so you can give up later. So just make sure. That's why we're being tested right now. That's why this eclipse out of nowhere, this Pisces intruder energy out of the axis. So as I was saying, I feel like throughout this whole year, especially after July, but this overall eclipse energy, the energy of Vesta, which is all about our inner fire. It's like our inner hearth. How you want to feed this inner hearth so it never goes out anymore. That's why we're being tested. It's like, how you want to feed your inner light from now on. But not just that, especially the energy of Sedna. And I never talked about Sedna in this channel before, but Sedna is a dwarf planet, just like Vesta. Sedna is a dwarf planet that has it's a very collective energy, and it moved into Gemini. I think it was in June or July, I don't remember anymore. And it takes a long time to Vesta, for Vesta to move. If you think Pluto is slow, Vesta is even slower, because it's a much outer planet. So it's this very massive collective energy to us in Earth. That is why I think there's this big anyway. So Sedna is about it is about betrayal. It's based on the archetype of this Inuit legend, this Inuit mythology, that Sedna, she was a princess from a tribe, and she was very different. She never wanted to get married, and she was very independent. But her father was the leader of the tribe, and he was like, no, you have to get married. I don't care. You're my daughter. You're the princess. You must get married. And she was completely against it. And every single what's the name? Every single guy, every single guy that would come to ask for her hand, she would reject them. But there was this one prince that came, and he was like irrefutable. He came with he was very handsome, and he was like this great warrior with, and he brought tons of fur and meat and a lot of things from the sea. So her father was like, this guy can hunt, this guy can he's strong, he's protective. I mean, you cannot say no to him. He's like perfect. And she just felt like, yeah, I can't deny it. So she felt obliged to marry him. So she gave in to the patriarchy. That's the thing about Sedna. She gave in to the patriarchy rules. So the prince took Sedna with him on his sleigh and took her to his island where he lived. And once they got there, he transformed. And Sedna realized that he wasn't a prince. He was actually a bird who was enchanted. And he pretended to be a prince just because he wanted to marry Sedna. And the thing is, if you are a bird, you cannot hunt. You can, but there's like very little things like insects and little sardines. You cannot hunt like seals and big meat. You cannot hunt things like bears to give you fur. You cannot hunt anything. So Sedna was pissed. She was like, you are a freaking bird, you're not a prince. So Sedna started to starve and feel cold, because everything that she was promised wasn't given to her. And she started to become depressed. Even though the bird would bring her little shells and little insects and little fish. It just wasn't enough, and it wasn't what was promised to her. And one day, her father thought it was very strange that Sedna never came to visit him, so he decided to go visit her in the island. And once he got there, he saw Sedna, and she was gaunt. She was very thin, and she was incredibly depressed, and her father was horrified, and she told him everything that happened. And while she was telling him, the bird came back, and her father was so mad that he killed the bird. He was like, this guy, he was a pretender, and he just fooled us all. So he killed the bird, took Sedna, put her on his boat, and started rowing back to the island, back with his daughter. But the thing is, while they were rowing back, the bird's family, the other birds, they saw the dead bird, and they started chasing the boat with Sedna and her father inside, and they started attacking the boat for revenge. And her father, in order to save himself, he threw Sedna out of the boat. He was like, hey, you want my daughter, then take her. And she was mad. She was like, what are you doing, Dad? Why are you giving me back to these monsters? You just came to rescue me. And he was like, yeah, it's my life. I need to survive. But he threw her away. He threw her out of the boat, but she managed to grab the boat. She wouldn't let go. And the birds continued to attack. So her father took his knife out of his pocket and sliced her fingers so she would let go of the boat, and she just fell into the ocean and drowned. It is a very, very heavy myth, but then once she fell into the ocean, Sedna literally, actually not, she fell like into the waters. She literally became the ocean, because her tears were so many that it became the ocean, and her fingers became the creatures and the mountains, and her hair became the algae. So the myth of Sedna, it is a very, very sad one, and it is about the light side of Sedna, actually the shadow side of the myth. Again, it is about betrayal, especially the betrayal of patriarchy. And in Sedna, in our birth chart, and in the collective, it actually relates to that when it comes to us. It is that thing that we've been promised something, and we worked so hard against our will. Remember, Sedna, she was a princess and she never wanted to get married. She was different. She was like, I don't want this. But then her father was like, yeah, you can't deny. This guy, he's the best. And she was like, okay. So it is about us giving up something that we really didn't want to. So sometimes it's like we sacrifice ourselves for work, for a career, for I don't know, anything. And when it comes to the results, we're not given what we're promised. And that happens all the time in our society. And Pluto in Capricorn started to show that to us. It's like we're killing ourselves, literally, not just metaphorically, literally. We're not stopping. We're working and working and working for what? We're destroying the planet Earth for what? We're not happy. Everything that they promise us is a lie. So Sedna is, the shadow side of Sedna is that. But the light side of Sedna is that she had to go through all that trauma, through all of that, even the betrayal. She had to go through all of that in order to become something even greater, something that she never imagined she would be. Something magical. Every time I tell the myth of Sedna, I get emotional. because she became something magnificent. She became the ocean, and she became the creatures. And because of that, not only she became something unimaginable and greater and magical, but she became what she truly came to be. And she became life, and she became useful to everyone. So the light side of sadhana in us is that even though we go through so much, is the survival energy, and that is what I feel with this eclipse, is the survival energy about us, that even though we went through a lot, and we went through so much, we went through so much betrayal and so much hurt and so much pain, that happened so we could blossom into something that we never thought we would be. So we could be, literally become the light that we came to be. So we could blossom into the beautiful soul that we truly came to be, to contribute to Earth, and to become our authentic selves. And what I feel is that we are in a period that we are in the survival energy. We're not in the survival energy anymore. We survived all of the things that we lived. We survived. So we have to get this survival energy. And it's like, okay, I survived all that, but from now on, I don't want to survive anymore. I want to live. And I want to live the way I came to be, and the way I want to be. Like the ocean, like sadhana and the ocean. So from now on, I'm committed to myself, not to surviving anymore. I'm committed to myself, to my own light, and to my own mission. And in order to do that, I have to make sure that nothing's gonna stop me, that I don't have any limiting beliefs, that I'm willing to let go of some luxuries, or not. I want to carry some things with me. I need to calibrate how much I'm willing to become this new me. Is this moment of the creation of the new me and commitment to the new me that we're living. And I actually mentioned, so we're gonna be tested. We're gonna be tested. Because again, the universe is not gonna give us something freely. Next year's like, it takes time to shift energies. It's not gonna give you something like, oh, here you go, and then later on you're like, oh, you know what, I didn't want that. It's like, no, make sure that you want that, because once you want it, it's gonna happen. And I actually recorded a video in Portuguese before this one, and I got this energy that I don't know if you guys ever read like the, I don't know how to say it in English. Is it Theogony? I don't know. From Hesiod, the Greek philosopher. Anyway, I think it's I don't know. Theogony. It is the myth, the Greek myth of how the universe was created. And we, like I said in the previous video, we are in this moment of being in this cosmic womb, ready to be born. And we have to make sure that we are we know how to balance the forces of creation, so we can be born in a balanced way. Everything about the Greek culture was about balance and harmony. It was innate for the Greeks, the idea of harmony. It was natural for them. So even in Greek mythology, everything that appears, every archetype, every god, actually every god is an archetype of either nature or human nature. So you can learn with that archetype. Everything is manifested in a duality. So if there's something, there's the opposite of that something, because it is all about keeping the harmony. And again, we are in this moment of cosmic creation, of being one with the universe to create this new me. In the previous video, I actually used the metaphor of us being this dragon being born. And for the Greeks, the universe was always there. It's not like oh, there was this big bang and things just were created out of nowhere. No, the universe has always existed. It was like this Lego box. The universe is the box. There's always been a universe, but the configuration of this universe has always shifted and come and go, like the Legos pieces being put together and dismantled constantly. But for the Greeks, in the beginning, there were 4 gods created. And I think we are in this energy right now. The first 4 gods were chaos, and chaos is related to the separative forces, the forces of separation. Chaos is all about the potential. All the potential of the universe is in chaos. The potential for destruction, the potential for beauty, the potential of a Michelangelo, the potential of a Hitler, all the potential is there. The potential of the Sistine Chapel, the potential of a nuclear bomb, all the potential is there. But it's separate, so it's the separative forces. In the other hand, we have to have the other side. So we have chaos, and the other side is the god Eros. And Eros is not like the Cupid that we know, like the god of love. No, it's something in a broader sense. If one is the separation forces, Eros is the union, the forces of union. It's literally the forces of love. But for the Greeks, Eros is it's literally everything that binds the universe. So the forces that bind the atoms together is Eros. Gravity would be Eros because it's attraction. It's something that brings things together. The forces that bring a man and a woman together, Eros. The forces that bring friends together, Eros. The forces that, I don't know, everything that brings something together, magnetism, Eros. Everything that comes together is Eros, because it is the opposite of chaos, of chaos, chaos and Eros. But the thing is, Eros brings together, but it restricts. So chaos is separation, but it's potential, and Eros is union, but restriction, in order to give form to the potential. So they work together. This is one of the axes of the gods that were created, and there was another axis. Remember I said there were 4 gods in the beginning that were created. The other 2 gods were Gaia. That is why we call Earth Gaia, because Gaia was the goddess of firmness, of sustaining things, where you plant things, sustain things in order for them to grow. That's why we call Earth Gaia. But there was the opposition of Gaia, which was the Tartarus. I don't know how to say it in English. Tartarus, which is the opposition. If Gaia is being firm and sustaining things, Tartarus is the opposition of that, is the eternal fall, because there's no firmness, there's no sustaining anything, is the fall into nothingness, is the eternal fall. And because it is the eternal fall, it doesn't allow you to grow. And remember that I said everything is archetypical in Greek mythology. So one thing that I think it's Tartarus in English. I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know how to translate Greek to English. That's just too much to my head. I think it's Tartarus. Anyway, because I don't know. The Tartarus creatures, they had one feature. All of them were like that. They were very aggressive and highly unstable. And that metaphorically relates to ourselves. When we are not sure of who we are, when we're not firm into who we truly are, which is Gaia, when we're not rooted into our true selves, we cannot grow as a soul, we cannot ascend as a soul. Therefore, we are in eternal fall. We don't feel like we are and because we are in eternal fall, we cannot ascend as a soul. We don't feel like we are expressing our true potential as souls on earth, because again, we're not on earth, we are in eternal fall, because we're not rooted on earth, we're not rooted in ourselves. And because we are in eternal fall, we are frustrated. That's why the creatures in the Tartarus, they were anxious and aggressive, because they were frustrated. Most people on earth, they act like the Tartarus creatures. They're not like in Gaia energy. They are in Tartarus energy. Because they don't know who they are. They don't feel like they're expressing their true selves. They don't know their true potential. And they don't know their true potential because they are connected to the separate forces of chaos. Because they don't focus themselves. They don't restrict themselves to the forces of love. They just want destruction. So we need to balance all these forces in order to make this new future for us. Again, we are in the period of co-creating with the universe. So we have to know where we're going as a soul. And to know where we're going as a soul is to know what we want as a soul. Not who we are, but what we want. Our values. Again, it's all about our values. Our core. Our true core. And one thing that is important is to let, I don't know if I said that already, but to let go of control. You have to know where and what you want to go. Where you want to go and what you want to have. But the how is not up to you. The how is a co-creation with the universe, because there are a lot of forces involved. Again, the how is going to be a surprise. It's not up to you to control the how. So be open. Be open to the new, but be sure of who you are, of what you are. It's not even who, it's of what you are as a soul. So yeah, it's gonna be a big moment, and because of that big Piscean energy, it's this very philosophical energy, and because of this very Piscean energy, there's a lot of subconscious energy working at work. So a lot of dreams may come up. Pay attention to your dreams. They're going to be talking a lot to you of what needs to yet to be let go, or things that you wanna allow to come into your life. But everything that has to do with this Piscean, imaginary, dreamy realm, allow that to flow naturally in this period in your life. It's gonna do you very, very, it's gonna be very positive to you. Yeah, so I'm gonna try to be as quick as possible with these videos. Now we're gonna go for some cards. I just hope I made some sense, guys. Again, I'm sorry. It's been very noisy. And when it's very philosophical for me, it's hard to explain things in English, especially when it's philosophical, Piscean energy, and noisy. It's just too much for my poor Mercury retrograding in Pisces. The blue moon, believe in the impossible. Exactly, guys. You have no idea what awaits for you guys. And with this believe in the impossible, it's literally that Sedna energy of you. There's something so big waiting for you guys. So do not underplay your game. Because you don't know how the how is gonna work. No. Be committed. How committed you are to yourself. Even the wildest dreams. As long as you're committed, trust me. Everything is aligning. Okay? Nothing fell. They just keep falling like 5 cards at a time. Okay. Fire spirit, passion, purification, energy. It is the alchemy process, and for me, this fire spirit, it has 2 connotations. The first one is, again, this with the passion, how committed you are to yourself. Don't let anything stop you anymore. Is that idea of Vesta, the hearth inside of you. Just keep feeding your inner fire. But also the purification is, we are going to, this is the last test. So again, is the threshold thing that I said in the last video. We are cleaning, we're closing a door. It's not even we're closing a chapter, we're closing a whole book. We're closing this karmic door that we don't, is this survival energy, guys. We are survivants of something. So gather everything that you had till now and leave behind and just burn it. It's a whole new beginning from now on. A purified one. And you don't want to bring any heavy baggage with you anymore. Make sure you're coming clean. With a pure light heart. That's why it's this Pisces energy. Piscean energy cleans everything. That is why it's the last sign of the zodiac, and it's a water mutable sign, because it is the waters that clean everything that has happened throughout the whole zodiac cycle before it starts all over again in Aries to be reborn in a new cycle. So now, let me just drink some tea. Energy of the week. Knight of Pentacles. And the energy of the week being the Knight of Pentacles for me, guys, is take it easy. Take it easy on yourselves. Make sure, first of all, make sure you're being thorough. Just like this little bee is working on every single little hexagon. But the Knight of Pentacles is very diligent, and not just diligent, is very persistent as well, which makes me think that we're gonna have a lot of challenges. Again, we're gonna be tested. Our commitment is gonna be tested. We're gonna have a lot of challenges, and we're gonna have to be resilient. We're gonna have to show that we really want this and not give up. The Knight of Pentacles is the slowest card on the tarot deck, but it is the most committed one. It never gives up. It is slow, but it follows through until it gets to the finish line. It's like that fable, the heron and the tortoise. The Knight of Pentacles is a tortoise. Is it the heron? I think it is. I don't know if they call it a heron or a rabbit, because there's a difference between the two animals. Anyway, we're gonna be tested. So the Knight of Pentacles is commitment to a cause. Be resilient. Show how much you want it, and be persistent. Be persistent on yourself, on your self-work, on your self-work. Okay? Be persistent in building your dreams and building your future, because the bee is building her future reserves. And again, it is a slow card. So not only are we going to be tested, but things are gonna, one thing that I forgot to say, eclipses, you're gonna see like this, some astrologers, even I say that sometimes, because it is almost like a consensus between astrologers to say, oh, eclipses, their energy influences us for about 6 months and blah blah blah. But the thing is, I don't truly believe that. I'm a Pisces, so I don't truly believe in time, especially when it comes to soul. And eclipses are karmic events, are karmic portals, and they deal with soul energy. So eclipses, they trigger soul, soul aspects, karmic things in us. And because of that, again, the soul has no time. A lot of these events that are triggered in our soul, they're not gonna last for 6 months. Maybe it's less, maybe it's more. It depends on your soul, it depends on your karma, it depends on how you pace and how you deal with these events. So this kind of 6 months thing, it is too arbitrary for me. And again, each person has its own life and its own path. So sometimes some issues that might surge, maybe it's not even an issue, but a blessing or something, like, again, something that is triggered may take years to manifest or to solve or to whatever. May take even a whole cycle of an axis. Like, oh, we're dealing with Pisces and Virgo axis right now. Maybe it will take a whole new cycle until it goes to Pisces and Virgo all over again. Who knows? Or not, you know? So don't worry about timing. This whole Pisces energy is, forget about the how and the timing. That is why it's the Knight of Pentacles. The Knight of Pentacles is not under the clock. It's not. It's like, do what you have to do and forget about the time. It's about the task, not the time. Just make sure you have that in your brain, engraved in your soul. It's about the task, not the time. Period. Okay? The energy you're supposed to activate this week. The Ten of Swords. Letting go of things that don't work for you anymore. Finishing cycles, guys. Things that are too heavy, they just have to be let go. As the fire spirit is the purification. The Ten of Swords is like, some things you cannot carry with you anymore. It's just too much. They're killing you, especially because it is a swords. Swords are related to the air element, mind. So especially thoughts, thought patterns, limiting beliefs, the way you talk to yourself, the way you think life should be. Again, it's all about the mind. The universe starts, everything in the universe starts in the mind. The universe is conscience, first of all. The universe is conscience, first of all. Even the Greeks believed in that. The first cycle of the theogony, which is about how the universe was created. We have like this three cycles of rulership of gods. The first one is Uranus, then the second one is Kronos, and the third one is Zeus. They all represent some sphere, symbolically. I'm not gonna go through all of that, but the first one, which is Uranus, is all about the unmanifested world, which is this pure conscious. So again, some things have to be let go, gone. You have to let go of something. I'm sorry about my grammar. You have to let go of a lot of things, especially in your conscience, and that is why I said pay attention to your dreams. A lot of things are in the subconscious mind, and they're gonna come to surface. So you become conscious of them and let go of them for good. Okay? This is what you're gonna have to activate. It's a deep cleaning. You cannot bring these things with you anymore. And the energy to avoid this week the Magician. The energy to avoid as the Magician, like I said, the Magician is the one who creates things. And we are, at the moment, the Magician has all the tools to create everything. But like I said, first of all, we're in the moment of purification and balancing the forces before we create. And not just that, you have to know what you want. And you're closing a door, so it's not the time to create anything yet. And again, you have to know what you want and where you want to be. The how, the Magician is the one who makes things. The how is not up to you. The how is not up to you. It's not even a time for that. So that is why you should avoid the Magician energy, okay? It's not the time yet, guys. It's not the time, nor your job yet, okay? So, they're actually asking me to take a card from my favorite deck, the Spirit Animals. I didn't do that for the Brazilian video, but they're asking me for the International Collective. I don't know why. I think you guys are in more need of more cards. An animal to guide your guys' energy this week. Oh my god, I love how this deck shuffles. I always say that, but it's just I'm so amazed on how this deck shuffles. I mean, it's 96 cards, guys. Look at this. I don't know how it does that, honestly. 96 cards. Look at that. It's like butter. I feel like I'm in Las Vegas with that. A Las Vegas dealer. Okay, so who wants to talk to us? Who wants to give us guidance? No one yet. You. Okay. The gorilla. I'm gonna read it to you guys. Nurture relationships with, look at this book. Oh my god, okay. Nurture relationships with love. In the heart of the dense jungles, the majestic gorilla embodies strength, family, and wisdom. The spiritual medicine of the gorilla encourages us to cultivate our inner strength, prioritize family connections, and seek inner wisdom. So guys, yeah. For me, the main thing is inner strength and inner wisdom. And when it says prioritize family connections, it is your spiritual family. It's like, who is with you? Who do you feel is with you in this new phase? Again, is this Venus energy? We're having this Venus and as I'm recording this video right now, we're having this Venus in Libra trining Jupiter in Gemini. That is also gonna reverb on the solar eclipse on the 2nd of October about the relationships that you want to carry with you in this new awakening. So who do you feel is with you? Who is supporting you? Who is supporting this new you? And who isn't? Make sure you're seeing that. And you're being around these people, because who isn't will have to be let go. They're not committed to you or themselves. So make sure you're surrounded by the people who understand that, that need of commitment of you towards yourself. Yeah. It is a very introspective moment, because the gorilla for me, like it says right in the beginning, like in the heart of the dense jungles, the gorillas they hide in the dense jungles. They're not just laying around in the open savanna. No, they're like hidden in the dense jungle. So it is a moment for deep introspection and to be with people and things that actually feed your energy. Yeah. And if you think about it, they're very reflexive. I don't know if that's even a word. If you see gorillas in the jungle, they're quite often just sitting down and looking to the horizon. They're reflecting upon life. At least it's what it seems like. They're almost like philosophical animals. So it is all about this moment, taking a moment to reflect and of reflection. Yeah. So anyway, what is coming for me for? There's something coming. Just a second. Yeah, this thing, like the gorilla and the believe in the impossible kind of thing, especially the believe in the impossible with the gorilla. It came to me like the movie Tarzan. Not even the movie, like the story of Tarzan. If you think about it, Tarzan was this boy who was raised by gorillas, and which seemed impossible, but once Tarzan finds out that he's human, he kind of tries to have a human life, because it is almost this Sedna thing. It's like what it was supposed to be. Oh, you're a human, then you're supposed to be with a human, supposed to act like the humans. This patriarchy thing. But then he realizes, like, no, but this is not my nature. This is not my true nature. Why can't I be like the gorillas? This is what my true nature actually asks for. But he had to see, like, the worst of humans. And not just that, the gorillas had to go through a very bad time with humans in order for Tarzan to see that, no, this is where I truly belong. So even though sometimes the rules say something, they don't necessarily apply to you. They don't necessarily apply to you. It's the Ten of Swords. So look at what's not applying anymore, and just burn it. Let go. Even if it sounds like impossible, even if it sounds like, no, but this is what it was supposed to be. No, it's not. I don't care if you're a human. If you're supposed to be a monkey, Tarzan, then there it is. You know what I mean? That's what it came to me. Anyway, thank you for watching another video of the channel and for being here with me one more time. And see you next time. Bye.